What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel Ace's Place 22, where I'm Ace, and this is my place. And here we are doing the Fantastic Four 2025 movie review. Definitely going to have some spoilers in it. We're going to talk about it all, if I can remember most of it. Just went and saw Fantastic Four The First Steps. 2025 movie release in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's like number 33. I have no idea in the movie succession. But here are my thoughts, and they are going to run wild. Yeah, that's a Hulk Hogan reference. Unfortunately, I'm going to mention this. A couple of days ago, the immortal Hulk Hogan passed away, and much love to the Hulkster. But with the Fantastic Four, this is a much anticipated film by not just myself, who's a huge comic book dork and movie lover, but by a ton of people I know and the world alike. It's the first Fantastic Four movie in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's the first time we have seen these characters in the confines, again, of the MCU. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Previously on Fantastic Four, there are 3 live-action Fantastic Four films prior to this. One of them came out in 1994, the Roger Corman movie. I don't think it ever, I know personally it never got a theatrical release. I do not believe it ever got a VHS release. I think the only way that you could check this movie out back in the 90s and the early 2000s were like Comic-Cons and like tape trading. I actually have the movie on DVD. You can buy it like on eBay and stuff like that. I don't think it's regional. It might be, but I can watch it on my DVD player. It's terrible quality, but that was the quality of the movie back in the day. It shows the entire, origins of the Fantastic Four with Ben Grimm, Johnny Storm, Sue Storm, Reed Richards, and Victor Von Doom becoming Doctor Doom. Opposed to the Fantastic Four, and it is a movie all about those characters strictly. Then in 2005, who the heck made it? I don't even know who made these movies. Paramount? I really don't know who the companies were that were making these 2 movies at the time. But there was Fantastic Four 2005, and then Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer that came out in 2007, a direct sequel to the 2005 one. I remember being 15 and 17 when I, respectively saw these movies in theaters, and I had an absolute blast. I liked the first one way more than I liked the second one, and I still very much enjoy that first Fantastic Four movie from 2005, starring Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm, the Thing, Jessica Alba as Sue Storm, Ian Grufford as Mr. Fantastic, and, another passing, the late, great, Julian McMahon. He was Doctor Doom, and he played an amazing Doctor Doom. I really, really enjoyed that movie quite a bit. Both of those movies are good. And then in 2015, so there are 4 movies before this. I am an idiot. There's 4 movies before this. This would make the 5th Fantastic Four movie. Crazy. So in 2015, I believe it was Fox owned the rights to the Fantastic Four for movies, and contractually they were obligated to make a live-action movie or the rights would revert back to Marvel, which inadvertently and eventually they did. Josh Trank made this movie that, in my opinion, if it didn't have the name Fantastic Four on it, it would be a pretty cool sci-fi flick. Again, it centers around just the idea of the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom. I'll be honest with you, I don't pay enough attention to that movie to remember a whole lot about it other than it exists. And I think that's just the best way to say it. It exists. And then here we are in 2025 with the new MCU iteration of the Fantastic Four. Forgive me if I don't know all these actors' names. I definitely know Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. There's Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. You've got Evan Ross Bacharach, something like that, as the Thing. And I'm not sure who Johnny Storm is. again, this is going to be kind of spoilers. It's not even going to be kind of spoilers. It's going to be spoilers because my thoughts are going to definitely be right out there. I thought this movie was mid. I thought it was basic. I didn't think it did anything new. I didn't think it brought anything to the table that I was like, ooh. There are things that I enjoyed about this movie. Absolutely. There are pros and cons without a doubt, and we're going to talk about those. But overall, initial thoughts, I could live without this movie. If I had the 2005 Fantastic Four movie or this one, I'm going to hold those two up because they're my favorite. Well, one's my favorite and the other one's the newest. I would stick with the 2005 version. For various reasons. I don't want to compare them. That's not what I want to do. Maybe at some point I'll compare them, but in this 2025 version, the first steps, it circles around the Fantastic Four already being a team. It's 4 years into their, Fantastic Four group, their creation up in space where cosmic rays hit them and altered their molecular structures on the inside, giving Reed Richards the ability to stretch. Sue can, use telekinetic powers. Johnny Storm can turn into flame and I think he can control it. Yeah, like manipulate it and stuff, obviously. And then Ben Grimm gets his entire body turned into rock. He's one of the coolest characters in all of the Marvel comics, in my opinion. This movie has, if you've seen the trailers, you know that the Silver Surfer, I can't say her name right now for the life of me, but I know it. She comes into the picture as the herald to to Galactus, who is this all-powerful being that needs to consume planets for energy. So that is the main story. Is Galactus is coming. He's going to consume your planet. Everyone is going to die. Prepare yourselves. And the Fantastic Four, who are the only superheroes that were presented or even mentioned in this corner of the MCU. This is Earth 828, not 616, where we have seen Doctor Strange and Iron Man and Captain America and so on. This is a whole new little pocket all on its own. So the Fantastic Four are the only heroes in this universe. So the world calls upon them and they take the mantle and say, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna stop this. They make mention, which is pretty cool. There's mention of, other villains in their universe, of the Puppet Master, Diablo. I'm drawing a blank right now on one of them. They did talk about the Crimson Ghost. I believe or the Red Ghost, which was supposed to be played by John Malkovich, but he was not in this movie. Obviously, they cut it. I'm not sure why. I think he would have been an interesting dynamic. Really would have thrown something else in there, because I won't lie, this movie is so. And maybe I need a little bit more. And I'm not hating on anybody that likes this movie, but it was so like linear. There was nothing. I didn't feel like the outside world actually existed or mattered. The locations really were isolated completely to the Baxter Building, to Yancey Street, and space, a little bit of space and stuff like that, which it all felt hollow to me. It didn't feel organic. I didn't feel like the Fantastic Four, the chemistry was there between them on a level of like, yes, this feels like family. Surprise, spoiler. Sue Storm is pregnant. She has a baby in the movie. Franklin is born. It's kind of an interesting scene. And once the baby is born, the movie takes a complete, it becomes all about Franklin Richards instead of the Fantastic Four. And I didn't really care for that much. I feel like you could have introduced Franklin Richards towards, the second half, even the third end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, when Galactus is coming in and wrecking shit. That's when Galactus could have been like, ooh, a baby, ooh, radiating all this cosmic energy. I want the baby now. Fuck Earth. I want the baby. But once the baby came into play, like, was introduced story to the audience, and Galactus, inadvertently finds out Sue is pregnant. He's like, I will give you Earth, you give me the baby. Which I'm not gonna go on the rant, but man, there is a whole bunch of scenes where this baby is the crutch of arguments and just stupid moments happening in the movie where I'm like, oh my God, Sue is gaslighting him in this moment. And as a parent that has been in that situation where all you can do is think, how do I, not having a job at one point, I was like, what can I do to provide for my family? What can I sacrifice for my family? And that's all Reed Richards was doing in one moment. He was thinking, what are the options? And I can't stand it, but Sue literally says, you're making my feelings hurt, or something like that. And she's holding the baby, and to me, that's like a signal of, I've got the higher ground, Star Wars fans. And I didn't like it. I'm totally honest. I didn't like it. I thought it was just in bad taste, in my opinion. If you guys didn't see it that way, good, enjoy it. Enjoy the movie. I don't want people to not like this movie. It's a good movie. It just didn't live up to my expectation. I did think Galactus was really cool. He looked epic. His powers, they didn't show a whole lot of his powers, but what they did showcase, I really enjoyed. I thought visually the entire movie looked awesome. I didn't have any problem with the Silver Surfer, with a female Silver Surfer. I kind of thought they were going to make it a point of like, well, we had to make it a woman but no, they didn't. I can honestly say they did that very well. I thought her character was pretty interesting too. It wasn't just a herald, a slave to Galactus. They give you a little bit of a backstory and show a little bit of it, which I thought was fun. I thought, okay, I can see this. Mole Man, I didn't care for Mole Man. It went by so fast like that. There could have been a cool fight scene, but there was nothing. And then I just found his character very annoying when they did reintroduce him again as like some, I forget, real estate agent, or I don't even know what the hell he was, to be honest with you. What was there that was annoying as well to me? Oh, the end credit scene was kind of cool, only because, yes, they show Doctor Doom. Or so we believe it's Doctor Doom. The end credit scene ends, or is, Sue Storm. It's 4 years later. The baby is now like 6, because you'd see time jumps are happening. And she's reading him a book. She goes to get a book, a new one. Excuse me. She comes back, and there is a man with a cloak, and he's holding Doctor Doom's face mask, helmet part, and the kid is like touching his face, and then it mysteriously ends. I thought that was kind of cool. But here's this. They show us at least 8 to 9 years of the Fantastic Four in this movie. From when the movie starts, they're already the Fantastic Four, and then they show you, the origins in like a TV thing, which is really cool. I like the way they did that. It's like old-timey TV show, which was really fun. I definitely dug that. But they show you the footage like, 4 years ago, these 4 brave astronauts took the journey to space to see what was out there. But did they know that they would come in contact with cosmic radiation that would alter their DNA forever, turning them into the world's first family, the world's first Fantastic Four? Something like that, right? And I thought that was pretty cool. But it's a 4-year, from when they get their superpowers to when the movie starts, it's a 4-year jump. From when the movie starts officially, that 4th year in, there's 5 years in between. In not one time do they mention Victor Von Doom being anything to do with Reed Richards or the Fantastic Four, anything like that. They show you the United Nations at one point, and they show you an empty seat of Latveria, which if you're wanting me to believe that Victor Von Doom has anything to do with this 828's version of the Fantastic Four, then he needed to be in there somewhere. He needed to be mentioned somewhere, and he wasn't. So I feel like that is going to be very shoehorned in if, let's say, in the next scene in Doomsday, they show this scene and he turns and he looks at Sue, and it's Robert Downey Jr., and she looks at him and says, Victor? I'm going to be like, how do you know Victor? We saw 9 years of your life, and not once was he in any of this. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to do that. The end credit scene for Thunderbolts, if anyone's seen it, spoiler, they show the Thunderbolts or the new Avengers in the tower, I'm assuming. Yeah, it was the tower. And you see the Fantastic Four spaceship coming in, the atmosphere. Nothing about that in this movie, which I thought I was expecting. I was anticipating, like, maybe we'll see a scene where we have the Avengers or the new Avengers talking to someone from the Fantastic Four. I don't know. They're, again, not trying to poo-poo on it. We still have movies to come to show us things. It's Spider-Man, and then I think Doomsday after that. I don't like being told this goes with this, and we're telling you that, and there's no other reason for it. I feel like they could do better. They've had a long time to really make these movies and create good stories without necessarily compromising what has come before, which I feel like they've done quite a bit in the MCU of the late. I'm trying to think if there's anything else with this movie. I want people to go see it. Definitely go see it. Don't take my negativity. First of all, if you're watching this and you know there's spoilers in this and you haven't seen the movie, okay. If you've seen the movie and you're watching this with the spoilers in it, let me know totally what you think down below. Let's not be negative to each other. I'm not trying to be like that, because everybody's going to enjoy their own version of what they want, right? But this just wasn't for me. I think I'm going to die on this hill. I think Captain America 4 and the Thunderbolts are better movies. I don't know if they're better movies. I don't want to say it like that, because you could probably break it down and be like, no, they're not. I like them more. I prefer them more. There was a lot of dialogue in this Fantastic Four movie where it was just a lot of the same verbiage, and I was getting really bored with it. I didn't care for Sue and Reed. I didn't like Pedro and Vanessa Kirby's chemistry at all. Whatever. I couldn't unvisualize Pedro as Pedro. He didn't do anything to come across as Reed Richards. Like, nothing. My God, I'm gonna rip this movie apart. Like, the clothing for Johnny Storm, anytime he flame on, his clothes never like singe or burn or nothing. So I mean, unless Reed is paying top dollar for, high-end quality clothing for Johnny specifically, like polo shirts and shit, man, I don't know. It's weird to me. There's little things that I'm dissecting, and the more I think about it, the less I care about it, and I don't like that, because I wanted to go into this movie open-minded. I did. I went into this movie open-minded. It just, I needed something else. Unfortunately, I needed something else. But there are pros to it. The acting is good. The visuals are really good. The story would have been fine if it was just Galactus. And I'll explain this just real quick. So they go up into space to confront Galactus before the Herald, Silver Surfer, comes to Earth and says, you're all doomed. The Fantastic Four say, we're going to take the fight to him before he brings the fight to us. Okay. They go up to space to confront Galactus for the first time, and in that moment, that's when Galactus uses his eye vision scanners and scans that Sue is pregnant. Okay? Up to that point, Galactus was still coming to Earth to consume it. He needs to. He needs to. He makes them an offer. You give me the baby, I will... All the alarms going off. You give me the baby, and I will let Earth live. And of course they're like, we're not going to do that, blah, 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 blah. So then Galactus's mission is now, well, I want to eat that baby, or consume the baby at least, and not go for Earth, or maybe do both. I'm not really necessarily sure, but it takes all of the stress, to me, in my opinion, of like, oh my God, the Earth is at stake, to now it's, and then that's what they wanted. They wanted the people in the movie, the fans of the Fantastic Four, the citizens, to turn on them. And that's exactly what they did, which was, to me, I didn't like that. It was completely unnecessary to flip-flop the civilians of like, oh, you're selfish for not giving up your baby, and then we love you for saving the city. It's like, what do you... All right, pick a side, right? I just didn't like it. I feel like Galactus was enough of a threat to come in and be like, I want to eat Earth, without there needing to be this other thing. But say they go to confront him up in space and he doesn't know there's a baby there. And then when he gets to Earth to eat the planet, he scans and he scans the baby. And that's when he's like, oh, no, I want the baby. And his directive changes. And now it's more like, oh my God, he's going to eat the baby. Like, I think that would have been a little bit more fun. Call me crazy. I've been called everything else. Call me crazy. But those are my thoughts on the Fantastic Four. I don't want to completely rip it apart. I had an okay time with it. It is what it is. It's a movie. It exists. Go check it out. My last thoughts, though. I know I've said this in previous videos. I've said this on lives. I hope I have some of my YouTube friends watch this video and they can be like, oh, okay. He's told us about when he's told people to shut the F up in the movie theaters. Today was no different. Okay. Me and my buddy, we go. It's not a packed house. There's enough seats for everybody to sit one seat away from each other and it still be pretty decent. Like, it was good. I don't care how this is going to sound. This is how I feel. An individual that was a grown adult. Sure, he probably had something off in his head, but he was a grown adult enough to be there on his own accord, to pay his own ticket, to be sitting by himself. Okay? That's the credibility I'll give him. He's out there on his own, so he can take this negative comment I'm about to say. He sits right next to me, and I don't care. He is the most disgusting, dirty-looking human I've ever seen that's not homeless. The dude is scratching himself, licking his fingers. He's not a crackhead. He's just off in the head. Scratching himself, itching his legs really hard with his shoes to where you hear like just that. And I just see it out in my peripheral the whole time. And I'm like, this is driving me nuts. I happen to look over, and this guy, I'm not even kidding you, folks, has got his thumb so far up his nose, digging for gold, and then I just see him come on. I got to be the guy now that turns and says, stop picking your fucking nose next to me. Oh, I'm sorry. You're sorry? You should be getting up out of the movie theater now and leaving. That's embarrassing, and you're going to sit there next to me. You should move at least a seat over. You're disgusting. You people like that go to the movie theater and make it a vile place for other people, you are awful. It's a movie. I understand that, but it's the price of a movie. We pay $20 at most, probably. Maybe more for, cooler movies. But don't go in there and ruin it for other people and be disgusting. Stay home. Just stay home or sit completely by yourself. They show you a chart. Where do you want to sit, sir? And you decided not so much to just sit next to me. You could have sat next to anybody and being gross like this. But you sat next to somebody and decided to be like that out in public. That is vile. So that brought down my mood of the movie. Things tend to do that when they're awful like that, unfortunately. So if you are a moviegoer and you are self-aware of how gross you can be, leave it at the door or sit away from people. Don't be other people's problems. And then don't be the asshole that has to be the one that says, stop picking your fucking nose next to me. To a grown adult. If it was a little kid, what are you going to do? But it's a grown-ass adult. Get out of my face with that. It's disgusting. Movie was alright. Fantastic Four, the first steps. The end of the movie, The other end credit scene was kind of dumb. It was just a reinterpretation of the old Fantastic Four cartoon done like it was in the 60s. I mean, it's cool. And then you just see Herbie's hand turn it off. Whatever. Don't stay for the second credit scene. Stay for the first one. That's the Doom one. Other than that, Fantastic Four 2005 is better. I'm going to die on that hill.